So here's the thing, man. We've been lied to a lot. And if you're not searching for the truth, I don't really know what the fuck you're doing with your life. It's talking about the double slit experiment, Newtonian particle. We close the slit and fire a bevy of electrons and we get 10 hits at point A. We close the slit and open another slit and fire a bevy of electrons. We get 8 hits at point A. The Newtonian prediction would be that if we fired the same bevy of electrons and both slits were open, we must get 18 hits at point A. Well, we get a big fat zero. And what does this mean? Well, that's the end of Newtonian physics. Now, you know what Newtonian physics is, right?
No, I do not. You're talking about like Newton's theory?
Yeah, Newton's laws of motion, his theory of gravity, or his law,
Yeah,
yeah, laws of gravity,
mass and all that.
right?
Yeah.
So this is professor of physics at Yale, right? Professor Shankar. So the next one is first, I want to tell you what goes wrong with Newtonian mechanics. The double slit experiment is the problem that puts the nail in the coffin for Newtonian physics. Same guy, right? And today we're going to shoot down Newtonian mechanics and Maxwell's theory. We're like the press. We build somebody up only to destroy them. Build up Newtonian, shot down. Build up Maxwell, gonna get shot down. So what do you think he means by the end of Newtonian physics, the nail in the coffin, and shot down? Do you think we still go on with Newtonian physics?
No. Yeah, I don't think so.
But they taught it to you in school though, right? And teacher
I
wouldn't
mean,
lie to you.
right. Well, yeah, okay.
I mean, you see what's going on here? They're
Yeah, I
teaching
do.
bullshit to the children. This isn't old. The double slit experiment's been around for like almost 100 years. They've known this for a very long time. But
So,
yet they
what do you?
still teach Newtonian physics to children. And it's like, hey, let's go play tetherball. Okay, I got the ball. Who's got the tether? Oh, we don't need one. We got Newtonian physics.
Right.
That's not how that shit works. You need a tether.
So, what do you think the reason for all this is for? Why do you think this?
Yeah, if you chase your tail for 100 years with E equals MC squared, what's going to happen is the real science is going to progress and technology will progress underground. And then you have this great, huge knowledge differential. Everybody thinks that E equals MC squared and time travel is possible. And what if you could go back and kill your grandpa? If you could go back and kill your grandpa, then you'd never be born. If you were never born, how could you kill your grandpa? And then everybody's going to argue what is time and what is space, right? What is time? Oh, time's so convoluted that it could be anything, right? And meanwhile, they're progressing and progressing and learning and progressing. And they took Tesla Tech. John Trump with MIT, Donald Trump's uncle, took all of Tesla's stuff when he died because they said that he was a foreign enemy and put it under some foreign enemy act, right? And confiscated all of his work. And he had that shit for a year, right? It was all his for a year. And then he gave it back to the government, right? And meanwhile, they're learning and learning and progressing, and we're still chasing our tails with gravity and the bending and warping of space time, right? So, what we have now is a huge power differential because there's a huge knowledge differential. Because
Hmm.
we don't understand the basics of electromagnetism, because all that stuff is hidden in all the devices we have. Everything that you're using is Tesla tech, but it wasn't Tesla that was put on the front of the magazines, was it? It was Einstein. He was the one that was promoted, and Tesla was the first bad guy in the animated Superman series. Tesla was the name of the evil scientist, the mad scientist, right?
Right.
So all this Tesla tech that we're using, it's on a pay-based system. We're paying for it, right? We're paying out the ass for electricity, right? And we're burning coal when we should just be, hooking up like towers, like like Tesla was trying to do. But as soon as they found out, J.P. Morgan pulled the funding, right? Trying to give people free electricity. He was plugging a light bulb into the ground, right? Not directly screwing it into the ground. That would be silly. Of course, he had two different metals, which makes a battery, and then you pour a liquid into the ground and it holds a charge, and you can make a battery, ground battery or ground generator, whatever you want to call it, but 2 volts. It'll create 2 volts, and you can hook it up in a series. Although it does have diminishing returns, that's enough to make light out of the ground just by having two different metals. When you have two different metals, that's what all batteries have, right? So one would be lead and one would be iron, or one would be copper and one would be iron, right? And because there's a different electron flow rate, this creates a charge. So all this technology has been hidden from us, and this power differential is turning us into slaves because know the truth and it shall set you free. See, back in the Roman times, it was illegal. You could get killed for teaching your slaves the trivium, which is grammar, logic, and rhetoric. If you taught your slaves how to read and write in the Roman days, they'd kill your ass. You know, the Romans had the fasci, right? That bundle of sticks.
Oh,
That's where you get the word fascist from. And
right.
in the middle of the bundle of sticks was the axe head. You've seen it in our military stuff and our government stuff, right? And
Yeah.
if you got caught doing something fucked up, well, they would just beat your ass with those sticks, or they'd cut your head off, right? So you're not allowed to educate the slaves. Why do you think that it's mandatory to go to public school? Just smart enough to pull the levers and fill out the paperwork, not smart enough to ask any real questions, right? Don't you find that a lot of people just seem like cattle?
Yeah, the majority of people. I wouldn't say a lot. I say majority.
Yeah, I mean, half the people in desert you could sell them sand. You know what I mean?
Right.
So here's the problem. We have to take over our educational system before it's too late, and we have to help people to understand that we have God-given rights and that we're not complicated rocks. Because the opposite of creationism, and there's only two choices. Either there was a God that created the universe and we're all equal under him, or we just came up out of a natural way and it rained on rocks for millions of years and it washed the sediments into a pool, into a primordial soup, and life sprang up out of the rocks, which is very interesting theory. There's absolutely no science behind it, but that's the current theory. And what this theory does is it robs God from people. And if the state gives you your rights, well, the state could take them away. But if God gives you your rights, man might take them away, but he has no right to do so because God gave them to you. So it doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. But if you believe that you have rights, you might actually exercise them. And if you exercise your rights, much like muscle, you'll have less and less atrophy. And if you have knowledge of the way the world works with specific gravity and electromagnetism and the scientific method, you might be able to educate your children and teach them how things actually work. And then they won't end up on the government's tit, right? And maybe they won't end up reliant on the government. Maybe they'll actually grow their own food. There's this cool technology called a seed, and you just put it in the ground and you add like water and sunlight, and it like works 24 hours a day for you, producing food for you, and all you have to do is make sure that it's in a comfortable environment. So that brings me to the terrain theory. I'm sure you've heard of the germ theory. Run, run, run. Germs,
Right.
right?
Right.
Well, the terrain theory, think about it like this. You got a battery, right? And it's got the little fuzz that grows on it and your car won't start,
Uh.
right? So you clean your battery terminals on your car, right? And then they start again, but a month later it grows back. Well, then you hear from an old timer that you can take axle grease and coat your battery terminals and the stuff can't grow back. So this time you clean it good, you add the axle grease, and because the axle grease is coating it like honey, bacteria can't get to it and the fungus can't grow. So you can dump fungus on someone else's battery terminal all over your battery terminals, but they can't grow because the terrain isn't correct.
Huh.
So I guess if you're healthy and you get lots of, nutrients that your body needs and you have a healthy gut fauna, I suppose people could dump all the fungus on you that they wanted and it couldn't grow because the terrain isn't suitable. But, that's just a theory. Obviously, the germ theory is the prevailing theory. So we're going to do what Fauci says, and we're going to get
Fucking
ouchies,
Fauci.
right?
Yeah.
So see, you see how this is working now. You're catching on. So here's the thing, man. We've been lied to a lot, and if you're not searching for the truth, I don't really know what the fuck you're doing with your life. Because everything that we see everywhere we go on TV is a fucking lie. Imagine this. Imagine I could go back in time 500 years and I could make the Native American people see things, visual hallucinations, and hear things at the same time. I could make them believe anything I wanted. I could make them believe that they live on a spinning water ball if I wanted to. Because most people, when they hallucinate, like the schizophrenics, they get audible or visual. They hardly ever get both at the same time. But the way that you really trick somebody is if you trick them with two or more senses at once, right? Like if I ask you, how many toes do I have? Well, you could look at my foot and say 10 toes, right? But if you could
Right.
squeeze it and feel the blood flow and the heat and the tendons, right? You could get tricked by two senses, like you'll know for sure that I got 10 toes, right? And this
Huh.
is how knowledge comes from. So if you could tell lie vision to the Native Americans or any human group, I guess you could get them to believe whatever you wanted them to believe, right?
Right. It's pretty wild to think about.
Yeah. So unplug from the TV, right? And start studying science. What we know. What is knowledge? What is truth? What is truth, sir? Can you tell me what is truth? Truth is that which is verifiable. Science is that which is falsifiable. If it's not falsifiable, if there is no null hypothesis, for example, if I add enough heat temperature to this water for a long period of time and it doesn't boil, then heat doesn't cause water to boil. That would be the null hypothesis. So it's falsifiable. But anybody who's ever had a kitchen knows that you can make water boil with enough heat. So that's knowledge. That's what we call science. Because you can eliminate all the other variables and isolate the cause that creates the effect. Just like when your car breaks down, your engine needs four things: compression, air, gas, spark. If it's not getting fuel, if it's not getting air, gas, or spark, it's not going to run. So what do? You start the process of elimination. You start diagnostics and you eliminate the variables. And when you get down to the last thing, you've already eliminated the other three. Well, spark plug is the last thing. We're not getting spark. Check the distributor cap if it's an older car. If it's a newer car, I doubt that all of them would break at the same time. Seems unlikely. So it
Right.
would be the ignition coil. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So this is how we got to do it from now on. Now, I wish that you would join me and go to the other server and talk to the anti-flat earthers about the scientific method, because they're going to say the most bizarre things. They're going to say that you can make up your own scientific method, and anybody has their own scientific method, and it starts with ask a question. So we say observe a natural phenomenon because this is natural science. They say ask a question. So I'm going to ask a question. Why are boobs good? Is that science? Are we
What
doing
other?
science?
What's that other server called?
Let me look. But yeah, go in there and pretend that you're a flat earther, right? Let's see. What is it? Is this it? Uh, hold on. I guess it's flat Earth debate or Brandon's flat Earth.
No, you think about Gamma Panda, or is that too
Yeah,
much?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Gamma Panda. Let's
Um,
send them in the trenches.
oh boy.
What is the name of that server?
Yeah, it's debate flat Earth and more.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Or you could go to Quantum Eraser's channel and you could listen to the stupid shit they say because he has numpty clips, and the stuff that they say is ridiculous. Like straight lines are curved. That's one of the things that they say. straight line is curved. Yeah, let me find that Quantum Eraser channel for you, bro. Because a lot of stuff I was quoting was his work. So yeah, and if you go into these debate rooms, you have to be. Let's see. I think I just posted it. Yeah, you have to be aware of tactics. Do you know what debate tactics are?
Uh, kind of, yes, no.
Okay, so you probably should watch a few logical fallacy videos, right? And a debate tactic would be like gaslighting. Like if you said the sky's blue and I'm like, well, you're colorblind, bro. You need to get some glasses. That's called gaslighting. You basically know that what they say is true, but you're making it sound crazy to make them look crazy to discredit them. Another one is stultification, right? Like, oh, you can't believe this guy because he's a flat earther. That's like saying you can't believe this information because it comes from mainstream media. Well, yeah, mainstream media can tell the truth. That's the genetic fallacy, right?
Right.
So when you understand all these genetic fallacies, all these fallacies, right? And you see what they're doing over there, and you know all these tactics that they use, like you're going to be like, oh my God, these people are like stooping so low to defend the globe. And you're going to wonder why. Why are they stooping so low to defend the globe? It should be easy in the year 2021. It should be so easy to defeat a flat earther in a debate. It should be like first round knockout, highlight reel. But this debate's been going on for 6 years. And if you actually listen to the debates, they're not as cut and dry as you thought. Like before you came in here, you were like, "Oh man, this is going to be easy. We're going to destroy these flat earthers." No, it ain't like that. I'm telling you, it is not like that at all.
Yeah, and I hope because we understand, right, that the first thing you get, what they teach you is that you're living on a spinning water ball hurling through space. And then the second thing they will teach you is flat earthers are dumb, batshit crazy science deniers, right? They think they're on a space disc flying upwards. They deny science. They're stupid. They dropped out of school. But I hope hope we made that. I hope Hank, right? Hank is a good example. He's not stupid. He's good. He's articulate, right? He explains it
Right.
very well. We're not stupid, right? Sorry, right? We've all been uh, Globers at one point, and then somebody or something made us doubt and wonder, right? And then we looked into it. It's not that we deny science, that we looked into the science. What has science to offer to prove that you're on a ball? Because everything else, everything in your life shows you you're not on a ball, right? It's only
Right.
your screen. It's only your screen that tells you you're on a ball.
Well, very informative. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it,
Yeah,
Hill.
no
Sure.
problem, man. Come back anytime. You're most welcome.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna join the server and then call it a night. Roger, you've been
Okay.
great help. Appreciate it. Thank you, Hill. Thank you, Hank.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah,
See you
you
guys
you
around.
earned you earned a seem sincere role, bro.
Well, thank you. I'm just curious. That's all.
That's the way to go, man.
All right. We'll see you guys around.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah, take it easy.
Right. Refreshing.
I think it's really important to show people that they've only seen it on TV, and that's the only reason they believe it. It's because they got tricked.